Nice and ready. As you can see earlier, what we did, we prepared some, and then what you want to do is once you boil these, you want to put them in a nice ice bath and cool them right down, and that's going to make them easy for us to handle when we deep fry them. Gerry, if you could trade places with me, I'm going to get you to cut those into rounds about 1/3 to 1/4 of an inch thick. When we're getting ready to fry them, what we want to do now is we want to prepare our batter and our dips. So first of all, let's start with the wet stuff, and what we want to do is put about a cup of milk into a plate. We want about a cup of red wine. Again, in the red wine, I'm going to spice these with some really nice hot sauce. And you can do this to taste, but because they're going to be deep fried, and because this is going to go into the batter, sort of the more taste you can get in there, the better. Now for the dry part of our frying process. We want about a cup of flour and about 1/4 of a cup of really nice cornmeal. Now, to that dry part of the mix, what we want to do, and I'm just going to move this up here for a second, to this we want to add a little bit more taste, and I'm going to use some garlic salt. And this is a very traditional thing to do out in ranches when they're making a calf fry. And again, because I want a little bit of heat in this flour and cornmeal, I'm going to put a little bit of cayenne pepper. Another good thing to do before we're frying them is season them. I'm going to put a little bit of salt over all of these, a little bit of pepper. What we want to do with these is, right off of being cut, we want to put them in the flour mixture. Then we want to put them in the milk. Then back in the flour mixture. And you're going to see that we're going to have a nice coat on this. And then really quickly in the wine. And if you want a thicker crust at this point, you can put them back in the flour mixture. I prefer it to be a little bit thicker. So there you go. So what we have now is a nicely breaded, and you can see there's a little bit of cornmeal on that, nice flour, and that's ready to go into the deep fryer. All right, Gerry, I think we've got enough of these to get going. I'm just going to put them on a plate for you to get started on the deep fry, so we can get going. And I'm going to ask you to fry these in the peanut oil that we've got going on the stove. And there you go. So if I can hand that to you, if you can use a Chinese basket. I'm just going to clean up a little bit here, move some of this out of the way.
So Alan, what kind of friends do you have that you'd serve these to?
Cowboys. I think really this is, if you ever had a cowboy theme party, this would be something you'd really want to do.
Put all of them on at once, huh?
Yeah, I'd put about 4 or 5 in at once, and we'll see how hot our oil is. There we go. And that's really nice and hot. So while we're moving this now, I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to make our mayonnaise now for this to go with. I got about 300 grams of mayonnaise, some chopped capers, which is going to give it a nice sort of a pickle taste. That's about 150 grams. About the same of some chopped chives. I'm going to add a little sprinkle of chopped parsley. It's going to give it a little bit of color, a little bit of texture. Just a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, and lastly, a squeeze of lemon juice. Really what you're getting here is almost like a tartare sauce, and be perfect for our nuggets here, as we can call them.
Yeah, it looks appropriate. Alan,
yeah. That's about done. That's right.
About done,
so there you go.
Yeah.
Let's get you a plate to start putting these on. That's beautiful. And so we're going to continue frying these, and we've got everything ready. And when we come back, we're going to plate our beautiful lamb kidneys and our, what would you call these now?
Oh, not nuggets, I guess.